Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another episode of Fullmetal Alchemy. So this time I'm going to start with some self-PR to talk about the intro article I've done on my coffee to quickly introduce my background as a games journalist and how I'm still trying to find some work while doing my own content on coffee. And basically, starting from now, I'm just going to put everything on coffee, be it my articles or my videos. So this way, everything will be in the same place. So if you want to subscribe to support me, this will be easier as well. So yeah, I'm talking about the games media industry a little bit and some of my experience with it. And I'm talking about what I'm planning to do. So basically, I'm trying to stream and I'm going to try and make this news show live, at least one episode live per week on Mondays on 2 p.m. EST. And whenever I'm streaming on my Twitch, and I also have two YouTube channels. So I have the Fullmetal Alchemy YouTube channel, which you're listening to right now, and I have a Japanese version of it. And basically, whenever I'm streaming, it's always on Twitch, and if I'm speaking mainly in Japanese, it's going to be on the Japanese YouTube, and if I'm mainly speaking in English, it's going to be on the English YouTube. So if you wanna see whenever I'm streaming, this will always be live. The Twitch will always be live. So yeah, so I'm talking about the content I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do most of the translations of live streams because it's something like even Japanese outlets that don't do it. And when it comes to English games media, they only post the gameplay and they don't really translate what's being said on live streams. So this is one thing I'm trying to do for many years now. So mainly for Super Robot Wars, like every 3 or 4 months there's a Super Robot Wars stream, and for Heaven Burns Red every 2 weeks, and for Pretty Series, and then for newer stuff I'm really into these days like Gakuen Idolmaster, and I need to catch up on the streams for that, and for Aikatsu Academy as well. And yeah, regarding the paywall, basically, I think like every original content I'm writing will be paywalled, I guess. And right now I'm working on a big article about character design in gacha games in Soshage. So I guess this will be paywalled, but I'm not sure. Like maybe this will be free. Like I still need to figure things out. So yeah, and I'm trying to do some lot of things like a let's play of Heaven Burns Red as well in Japanese while commenting the story in Japanese because I really like the game, so I don't want to progress in the story and do the events anymore without recording myself so I can easily check the funny moments, etc. So yeah, I guess that's everything. So everything will be on the coffee now, so I'm not going to post on Substack anymore. So if you're interested and if you like my content and stuff, like make sure to share and subscribe. Thanks. So Takara Tomy and Sin Sophia and Avex, the companies behind Pretty Series, they announced they're making a Nintendo Switch console version of Himitsu no Aipiri. Himitsu no Aipiri is the latest series in Pretty Series with an anime airing right now since April. So this is the first time the series is getting an console game since Puripara, since the end of Puripara. So the last game was in released in 2018. This was the Puripara Switch game, right? Since then, they only did the arcade versions because Kirato Prichan, which was the series that followed Puripara, it didn't get a console version. They only did an arcade version. And Watchapped Magi as well, the series after that, they only did an arcade game. They didn't do a console game. So it is the first time since 2018 they're doing a Switch game. So this is pretty interesting for multiple reasons because first off, the developer is Nippon Columbia. So I don't know this developer, so I had to look it up. And Nippon Columbia, they are the makers, the developers of Akogare, the Akogare series, which is basically a series for little girls. This is ongoing mainly since the Nintendo DS era. It's basically job simulations and life simulations aimed at little girls in Japan. So there's ones for like cake baker, one for a veterinarian, and this kind of games, right? So Nippon Columbia, they're making a lot of kodomo muke, josei muke games like this, so they're pretty used to it, and as far as I know, this is the first time that Takara Tomy and Sin Sophia and Avex, they're asking them to make a pretty serious console game. So they didn't release any gameplay videos. They only released some screenshots of the game so far, and the game is going to release in December. What was the release date? On December 5th in Japan. Obviously, only in Japan. So the official title is Himitsu no Aipuri Atsumete Secret Memories. So this is going to be based on the first season of the series with to be honest, I still didn't have the time to watch any episode of Himitsu no Aipuri yet, so I don't even remember the characters' names, etc. But yeah, so the characters from the anime will be appearing in here, all the main characters from the anime, and they revealed the game modes as well. So basically, there's going to be a live mode just like in the arcade game, and then some mini games that you can play with other players, with up to 4 players together. And one thing that's lacking, and a lot of Japanese fans have been talking about it on Twitter, is that there's no Maikara. So this is one of the biggest things that made Piripara so popular over 10 years ago, and this is something that they kept doing in the arcade games more or less, but in this console game you will only be able to play with the anime characters. You won't be able to import your character from the arcade game or play with your own Maikara. So this is one big thing, like I've seen a lot of Japanese fans talk about it, being like sad that this Maikara function isn't here. But yeah, so they released some screenshots of the game, and there's basically the rhythm mini game, which is the rhythm game, which is the same as in the arcade version. So it is a port with some songs, and they say that there's going to be 9 songs at first, and maybe I guess they will add more songs later as DLC, I guess. For now, there's only 9 songs, but I guess only isn't that small, because I guess that's just the 9 songs that are in the anime so far, right? Because 1 song for each character, right? So I don't think, like, maybe once the anime adds more songs, maybe they will add them in the game as DLC. So there's the arcade, the rhythm game, and then you have some mini games as well. Some mini games you can play up to 4 players together. So kind of a party game, like you will be able to play with your siblings and with your friends. And another thing is some of the scenes from the anime will be included in the game as well, like some iconic scenes, etc. will be added will be in the game. And yeah, so that's it. So it's pretty cool that they're finally doing a new console port of the previous series. But yeah, the fact that there's no Maikara and the fact that it's Nippon Columbia, like I never played any of their games. Like I'm not gonna act like I'm a specialist, because I had to look it up, because I never played any of these games. So I don't know how good they are. So I don't really know what to expect, to be honest. So if you know about Nippon Columbia, let me know in the comments, and let me know what you think about the new PG series and the Himitsu no Aipuri game, and if you're looking forward to it, if you're planning to buy it or not. So let me know what you think in the comments. So yeah, if you look at the announcement tweet for the Himitsu no Aipuri game, like if you look at the replies, like a lot of people are saying, "Hi, hopefully there's a Maikara function," but I don't think so. So a lot of people are saying, like, if you can import your game and you can use the cards, the arcade games cards in the Switch game, then maybe I will buy it. Like a lot of people are saying this, like Maikara attara kaitai kamo. Like if there's a Maikara, maybe I will buy it. But they didn't say there's Maikara, so I don't think they will do it, and I don't think you will be able to use the cards from the arcade game into the Switch game. So sadly, like you shouldn't expect this to happen, I think. And still regarding Pretty Series and Himitsu no Aipuri, in the arcade game, in the Aipuriverse arcade game, they're going to add the Kirato Furi-chan main characters, so Mirai and Emo and Rinka. And for now, there's only these 3, and hopefully later on they will add Sarah and what was the name? I forgot, because it's been like 5 years. But Meltic Star, the Meltic Star girls as well, Sarah and Anna and Meru. So for now, there's only going to add the 3 starters pre-chan basically. So yeah, and I forgot to mention this as well, but yeah, pre-chan sadly they never got a console game, right? They only got the arcade game, and same for WhatsApp Limaji, they only got the arcade game. So in the 2018 game, in the latest Switch game, Prepara game, they did add Mirai in it because that was just as Pre-chan was about to start. So in order to advertise Pre-chan, they put Mirai in the game, and there was a special, like there was an original special story you could play with Mirai in the game. I never played it, so I don't know if it was actually interesting or not. But yeah, that was back when Idle Time Para was finishing and Kirato Pre-chan was about to start, so they put Mirai in the game, but Mirai never got her own game. So for now, she's going to be added to Hyperverse. So Atlas and Sega, they released already a demo for Metaphor ReFantazio on all platforms like Xbox, PS4, PS5, Windows, and Steam. And the Steam version will be available tomorrow on September 26th. So this is not that surprising and surprising at the same time because as far as I know, this is the first time in a long while, maybe the first time ever that Atlus is releasing a demo like this, because usually, like I'm always saying, Atlus, they do demo events in Japan, and sometimes like nowadays, because since Persona 5 8 years ago, they are more popular, they are more mainstream, so they do these demo events at conventions and stuff outside Japan as well. But usually they only do demo events, so you need to go there and play the demo. But for the first time in years, they actually released a demo, so this is pretty cool. And Metaphor, to be honest, like I was really excited for the game like years ago before they actually made the reveal, before they revealed some gameplay for the first time around 2 years ago. And ever since then, I'm a bit mitigated. Like I have mixed feelings because I feel like they took so much time to make the game, and at the end of the day, it's just another Persona 5 reskin. So, like it's very extremely similar to Persona 5, be it the systems, or be it the battle system, or be it like the aesthetics and everything. So I'm kind of skeptical about the game so far. Like obviously, I don't think it will be bad, but like I'm not that excited for it because it's too similar to Persona 5. And while Persona 5 is one of my favorite games ever, like I played the game in Japanese in September 2016, back when it released in Japanese on PS3, but like this is a little bit too similar, so I'm much more excited for Kai no Kiseki, which just got released. Even though I'm actually not going to play the game anytime soon, like maybe in 2 or 3 years, inshallah, once I'm done catching up with the Kiseki series, because I still actually never played I never finished any of the games yet, so I need to play the past games before playing Kai no Kiseki. And I'm much more excited for Romancing Sagatsu remake, which is going to be released at around the same time. So yeah, Metaphor ReFantazio, I'm excited for it, but not ready. And regarding Metaphor, I actually translated one of the first live streams of the game in April. So I translated this, but I didn't have the time to translate the other ones that happened since then. So hopefully one day I'll be able to translate the other ones. So I will put the link in the description below if you're interested. So this was a live stream in April, back when they revealed that the social links in Metaphor, they don't have romance. So if you're interested in all the other things they said in the stream, you should check out the translation. I will put the link below. So yeah, they talk about like, are there missable archetypes? The archetypes are the jobs in Metaphor, right? They say that you don't really miss them unless you miss them on purpose. Like they also talk about leveling up as well and grinding, and how whether it's faster to grind in the action mode or in the turn-based battle mode, etc. So if you're interested, you should check out the article, and hopefully I will be able to translate the other live streams, because they did a few others, and they did some interviews as well with Yoko Taro, with Fukuyama Jun, etc. These were officially translated, but these live streams, they didn't, these live streams with Masuya Kajita and Isomura Tomomi, they didn't officially translate them, so I will try to make some summaries at some point. So another Atlus news is that Unicorn Overlord has sold over 1 million copies worldwide, and this makes me really happy because like Vanilla Rare like is finally mainstream as well in a way, selling 1 million. So this is crazy. So I'm really happy for this. And for the occasion, they published a new illustration by the director of the game, Noma Takafumi. Takafumi Noma. So he's the director and the character designer, and he's also initially a programmer, so he basically did a lot of things on the game. So I actually didn't play Unicorn Overlord yet because I didn't have the time to, but it's one of the game I'm really excited, like I really want to play it, because obviously I wrote about it a lot back when I still had a game student job, and I'm still looking for one. But basically, if you remember, in the 13th Sentinel, the very first 13th Sentinel demo, that was when Unicorn Overlord was first teased. So I've been looking forward to the game ever since then. So I didn't have the time to play it yet, but hopefully I will be able to get to it pretty soon. And one funny thing about Unicorn Overlord, I always like to say this, is that in a way, it's the very first real Vanilla Rare game, and I need to make a video about this and why I'm like saying this, and hopefully one day I will be able to get a pitch accepted about the game to be able to talk about this and to be able to talk about this while being paid decently, because I think this is something like no one is really talking about, because Vanilla Rare has a very specific history, and if you think about the history of the studio, and if you know, if you really know about the history of the studio, you get why I'm saying in a way it's the first Vanilla Rare game, because it's very different from the others, and like it's the very first times like Kamitani has finally done what he always wanted to do in a way. So which is pretty funny. So hopefully I'll be able to talk about this in detail in a Phaser article on IGN, also big site one day. So yeah, and another Vanilla Rare thing I wanted to talk about is that they announced a new figure for Fusaka Iori in 13th Sentinel. So this is a figure from one of her iconic poses in the game. So yeah, if you're interested, you should check it out. And the figure will start shipping in 2025 or so, I think they said. Where is the date? Yeah, they didn't. Oh, it's released already. Oh no, that's the release date for the game, for the Switch version of the game. The figure, I think they didn't say when it's going to release, right? So yeah, if you go to Shop Wanderer's official site, and if you go to the pre-order page, the figure will start shipping in October 2025, so basically 1 year from now. So yeah, so the pre-orders are open until the end of October, so if you like it, if you're Iori Oshi and she's one of your favorites, you should try and get it before then. So yeah, it's a really pretty cute figure, so just wanted to quickly mention this. So very quick news to talk about how the Patlabor Easy series finally got like some new information, and they say that the series is going to release in 2026. So Patlabor Easy is a new series that was announced back like years ago. Like I completely forgot this thing was a thing. Like I completely forgot this existed. Like I think it's written in the article. I think it was announced like 6 years ago or something. Yeah, in 2017. So yeah, it's 7 years ago. So they announced this 7 years ago, and then like nothing for years. And then like in 2022 there was a pilot film, and so yeah, and this is finally coming back, and they say that they're going to release in 2026. So to be honest, like this is still like 1 year from now, and like inshallah we'll be still be alive or not. Like who knows? Like if the world is going to be like in Hokuto no Ken yet or not by now. But yeah. So, Pet Labor is one of my favorite series. Like, it's one of the very first anime I've watched when I was a kid. Like, I couldn't tell you which anime I first saw because in my earliest memories, it's all mixed between Urusei Yatsura, Ranma, Pet Labor, Dragon Ball, City Hunter, Cat's Eye, etc., etc. So, it's always been one of my favorite series, but I never read the manga. I gotta read the manga. And to be honest, I don't remember the anime that much either. I remember in the early 2000s I watched the movies with my siblings, so I guess I remember the movies a little bit more than the TV series, but it's already been over 20 years, so I don't remember it. And Pet Labor, around 10 years ago or something, there was a live action sequel as well. A live action series. I gotta watch this at some point as well. Never watched it because this is one of the series like I wanna watch with my siblings, but scheduling and like synchronizing our schedules is pretty difficult. So there's a lot of series I like this. I don't want to watch them alone. I want to watch them with my family. So yeah, I still never watched the live action from around 10 years ago. And so yeah, and they're going to make another new series. So like pretty excited, I guess. I like it's always interesting to see. Like we'll see how it will turn out. Like until 2026, I will probably forget about it again. But yeah, I just wanted to quickly talk about it. So yeah, I mentioned Hokuto no Ken just now, and speaking of Hokuto no Ken, on September 13th, it was the anniversary of the manga. September 13th is when the very first chapter was serialized in Shonen Jump. And they didn't reveal new information on the new anime remake yet. They showed this is the same key visual that they showed 1 year ago when the anime was first announced. But it's kinda like I'm a little bit worried about the production now because they still haven't said anything, they haven't shown anything, so I'm kinda worried. And so yeah, and the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because in the tweet they say that they're going to reveal the cast at a later date, they're going to reveal the platforms and when it's going to release at a later date. But one curious thing is they say in the tweet that the series, the new Hokuto no Ken remake, will have the latest like filming technology. Like how do you translate this? Like Saishin no Eizo Gijutsu? Saishin no Eizo, that's Eizo, right? Saishin no Eizo Gijutsu. This means like the latest, like the newest technologies in film making. So this is kind of worrying because a friend of mine I said maybe this is actually going to be a full CG anime. So obviously CG anime are much better nowadays than 20 years ago, right? If you watch the very first Aquarium, for example, like it looks incredibly bad for compared to full CG anime now. So and there's some good CG studios like Orange, etc. So Sanzigen, etc. So it wouldn't like even if it's full CG, it wouldn't necessarily be bad. But like I'm kind of worried now because yeah, the Saishi no Eizo Gijutsu is kind of like I really wonder what they're employing there and what they're going to reveal. So yeah. So for now, there's still no new info. So it's been over a year since this new Hokuto no Ken anime has gotten announced, and there's still no new info. So, and personally, like this is one of my favorite series of all time, and I really like the manga. But yeah, just like many of my favorite series from the 80s that I watched as a kid, I still never watched never read all of the manga, so I gotta do this. And I watched all of the first anime adaptation, and I also watched the first remake around 20 years ago with Abe Hiroshi voicing Kenshiro. Abe Hiroshi is a very famous Japanese actor, one of the few Japanese actors I actually know about. And these remake movies from 20 years ago, they were good, but they also had a lot of things that were worse than in the first anime adaptation, in my opinion. And they also had some weird story choices, because obviously Hokuto no Ken is a series with a lot of retcons. It's not like it's a bad thing. And I remember clearly it was around 10 years ago in the Star Ocean radio show with Nakamura Yuichi and Mafia Kajita, because they were talking about anything but Star Ocean. One day they were talking about Hokuto no Ken and how Hokuto no Ken has a lot of retcons and how it's not necessarily a bad thing, because a lot of people tend to think retcons are automatically bad, but Hokuto no Ken is one of the series that shows you retcons can be good. So the anime and the original manga has a lot of retcons, but the first remake anime films from 20 years ago, they had retcons, but they weren't good. They only made things worse. So I'm kind of hoping that this new remake will be better. But yeah, if it's full CG, like, I'm kind of worried. Like, we'll see how it goes. Like, we still don't know anything. They still haven't showed anything. So we'll see how it goes. And hopefully it will be better than the remakes from 20 years ago. So another quick anime news is that Umetsu Yasuomi has revealed a trailer for his new next anime project called Virgin Punk. And this is something Umetsu Yasuomi has been working on for years. And I actually didn't hear about it until this new trailer. And he's been working on it for like years. So Sakuga Buta and the kind of guys who are really into Sakuga, they've been really excited for this because they knew about this project for years, like maybe 6 or 7 years or something. He's been working on this. And Umetsu Yasuomi is obviously the Mezzo guy, the kite guy. He's one of the most popular and the most prolific and most talented animators of all time, like together with like Obari Masami, etc. Like he's one of the best mecha animators of all time as well. He's the one who did I think it was the first or the second Zeta Gundam anime opening, or maybe both. Like, I don't remember. I forgot to check, but I think it's the second. I think he did nearly all of the second Zeta Gundam opening. He did everything himself, and he's like one of the best animators of all time. And I've been a big fan of his character design ever since I was a kid. And I think the last anime he worked on was Wizard Barristers, right? Around 10 years ago. And I really liked Wizard Barristers, but like, it was obviously, if you watched it, like, it was like the last 2 episodes or so, they were unfinished because they had some animation problems. But the series itself was very good. So I'm really looking forward to Virgin Punk to see how it will be about. So yeah, so I'm pretty excited. I'm really excited for this. I can't show you the trailer because I'm gonna get copyright striked, because anime trailers, they tend to get copyright strikes on YouTube. So I'm not going to show you the trailer. Just look at the screenshots. So yeah, Umetsu is one of my favorite animators of all time, and like one of the best animators of all time, finally making something new. And by the way, Wizard Barristers, they never put it in Super Robot Wars as well, so I'm still hoping Wizard Barristers will show up in Super Robot Wars at some point, because the protagonist, you could summon her own giant robot. So yeah, so another quick news to talk about this. And the last thing I wanted to talk about today is one particular announcement that's going to be made at Tokyo Game Show this year. Koei Tecmo, they announced they are going to reveal a brand new project in the Venus Vacation series. And it's pretty interesting because basically the latest game, Dead or Alive Extreme Venus Vacation, this is actually the name of the game, but now they're saying that it's going to be a series and that they're going to be a new project in the series. And this could be a game, this could be an anime, this could be anything, because they just said new project. projects. They didn't say new game. So maybe a new console port for Venus Vacation. I'm not sure. And I'm actually playing Venus Vacation because I'm a huge aficionado of Dead or Alive ever since I was a kid. And the game has a lot of issues. And one issue is that the seiyuu, they don't actually have enough voice lines. The characters don't have enough voice lines. So most of the OG characters, most of the Venus Vacation only characters, they are very developed because they don't have stories. Like they are paper thin, like personality wise and story wise. They don't have as much story as Ayane, Hitomi, and all the iconic Dead or Alive characters. So I think one thing they could try to do is make some kind of story-based game with the characters, maybe some kind of galge, bishoujo, visual novel or something, or maybe some kind of other game with a more story focus. And so yeah, so there will be a live stream at Tokyo Game Show about this new Venus Vacation project. So it's pretty interesting because you have the Twitter for the game, right? So you have the Twitter for the Venus Vacation game, but they made a specific new Twitter for the new project. So yeah, it's definitely going to be something big. So either a game or an anime adaptation or anything, like this could be anything. And the live stream will have Minami Tsuda Minami, the seiyuu from Misaki here. And Misaki is the poster girl for Venus Vacation, basically, so I guess the project will also face your hair. And Tsuda Minami is a seiyuu, like, she's kinda popular, like, I don't really know much of her roles, like, I think, like, let me check. Yeah, she is this girl in Uma Musume, and she is the protagonist of the Shinkalion, the other Shinkalion series. I still never watched Shinkalion. I gotta watch it. Oh, she's this girl in Garupan, Girls in Earth Panzer, and that girl in Aikatsu. So yeah, I know a few of her roles by name, but like these are all anime I never watched yet. And she's Mei in Citrus. Citrus is my favorite Yuri series of this decade, to be honest. Like, it's really good. Like, sadly the anime was really bad because Citrus is a very peculiar manga because the first arcs of the manga are really bad, but once the first arcs are over, it gets exponentially better. Like, it's incredible. It's like I think the editor or something were changed because starting at that point, after the first arcs, the story is much better. So if you don't know about Citrus, you should check it out if you like girls love. So yeah, so Tsuda Minami, she's a kind of popular seiyuu, and so she's going to be on the live stream. Oh, and she was Gloria in Piripara as well. So that's a role I know very, very well. So yeah, I really wonder, like, I really hope, like, it's because they say that there will be new information on DOA XVV as well, so I really hope, like, they do something that will give the characters more story, because to be honest, like, most of the Venus Vacation characters, I couldn't care less about them because they have no personality, no story. Like, I couldn't care less about them. Like, there's only 2 or 3 of them I really like. I really like Kanna, I really like Nanami, and I really like Fiona. But Fiona, to be honest, like, she's kind of boring, but I only like her because she looks like Fina and Rira in the East series by Falcom. So that's why I like Fiona. So yeah. Hopefully this will be something good for the game. And this last year, like, Venus Vacation is a very tedious game as well because it's a kisekai game, right? It's a dull dress-up game. But in order to get the outfits you want, most of the time you gotta pay up, and it's extremely expensive. Like, it's one of the worst gacha game in that regard. There's tons of banners every 2 weeks, and they're extremely expensive if you wanna get. If you only focus on one favorite character, it's extremely expensive to get all their outfits. So hopefully they will try to make something. If it's a new gacha game, hopefully you would be able to transfer your accounts, and hopefully it will be less predatory. Like, it will be less pay to win. and hopefully it will be something that gives the characters more story and more background. So yeah, that's it for this episode. Remember to like and subscribe and check the links in the description below, and everything starting now, everything, be it the articles or the videos, will be on the Ko-fi. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.